Hit it. Oh, all right.
Hello, boys and girls, and welcome again to the Evil Monkey Arcade here in beautiful Purgatory between dimensions. And I've got something special today for this episode of Dustin Recommends. Now, what's this? Do I have a crazy monster movie that is insane and just extremely entertaining and completely stupid? No, I don't have one of those. Do you... A book? A steampunk book with insane mutants and magic and monsters? No, I don't have one of those either. A new sexual position that we've never heard of? That we might want to edit that. Edit. We're gonna take that part out, right? Okay, we are? Good, perfect. I don't want to look like a giant pervert. No. What we have today is a board game. Yes, and I love board games. I love board games. I love card games. I love any kind of strategy games like that. And yeah, I'm going to show my geek here. I'm totally going to nerd out. Sorry, that's what you watch. For me to tell you what I recommend and what I think is cool and what I think is amusing. And I like this. I like this a lot. So, now, what do you think of when you think of board games, or role-playing games, or card games? Now, when I say role-playing games, probably the first thing you think of is Dungeons and Dragons. Yes, or, as it was known where I grew up, the Devil's Game. Do not play this, it will turn you evil, Dustin, and you will burn in the fires of hell forever. Not even joking. Yep. Pretty much. Now, what do you think of when I say deck building games? And yes, I said deck. Deck. D-E-C-K. Deck. You filthy bastard. You probably think of something as in, perhaps Summoner Wars, or, okay, Magic the Gathering. Yeah, you thought of Magic the Gathering. Most of you probably have no clue what Summoner Wars is. But yeah, we're Magic the Gathering, where you buy different booster packs and you put together a deck of cards to play against somebody. Now, each of those has a pretty cool little thing. Now, when you think of board games, what do you think of? Probably Monopoly, Chutes and Ladders, and I got this to say to you, where have you been? There are like 1 billion board games out there, and they're awesome. Awesome. My current favorite is the Dungeons and Dragons Adventure board games, which eschews the whole pen and paper role-playing a little bit for miniatures that fight and you still roll dice. It's so freaking cool. I love that. But yeah, okay, you see my style here. I like the fantasy role-playing games where I can be a freaking dragon warrior or a barbarian or a wizard or a dwarf. I'm partial to the dwarves. I like the dwarves. It's because I can't grow a full luxurious beard because of where I work. I would braid it and put skulls and carry an axe. I would so do that. Back on topic. So, now you're probably thinking, if you're any bit of a nerd like me, you're probably thinking, those are some awesome things. Those are great. Really? I'm 34, not 40. And I was married for 5 years. I have a very healthy sex life. Thank you. Don't judge me. So now, what do you think would happen if, say, Dungeons and Dragons got lonely and they went to a bar and they started drinking a little, and then here come Magic the Gathering come in a little mini skirt. You know, she's just looking for a good time, the filthy whore. And then she seduces Dungeons and Dragons, and you know they end up going home together, and it's just craziness, just board game pieces and cards flying everywhere. This is a horrible analogy, and it is very frightening, and I'm sorry, but I'm gonna continue with it because it's hilarious. And then 9 months down the line, Magic the Gathering is pregnant and spits out a beautiful baby game. What would this game be called? This game will be called Dungeon Command. Dungeon Command. Dungeon Command. Yes, it is a fucking combination of Dungeons and Dragons skirmish warfare with miniatures and D&D characters. It's set in the D&D universe. One of them, because there's like 5 billion D&D. You know what I'm talking about. With Magic the Gathering, not collectible, but deck building. Now, here's the deal. This game comes in faction packs, which you have 5 faction packs. Now, this is Dungeon Command. I forgot the name of this faction pack. It's the Undead faction pack. We're just gonna call it that. There's zombies and vampires and undead shit. I like that. Leave me alone. Again. So, now what this is you take this and you have 2 leaders to choose from. Now, you can play a single-player game with 1 faction pack. There are special rules. You split up the cards, you split up the miniatures, and you can play a very brief 2-person game with this, which I have done, and the rules are very easy to pick up. But I'm not going to talk about the rules because they're pretty easy, and it's pretty easy to get into. But what you do is in the box, you have the rule book, of course, which I just showed. Then you've got 2 commanders, which I know you can't see them too well. On mesmerizing. Look at that. Sorry. You have these 2 commanders that you pick from. Now, you can pick from them randomly, or if you've got friends who have other faction packs, they'll pick their own, And they each have different special abilities that go on. This guy gains 1 leadership for each enemy creature destroyed during your turn. Leadership is what you use to deploy monsters. It's basically mana. Mana for all you Magic Gathering guys. It's mana. Or magic points. It's what you use to summon shit. And morale, which is basically your health. When the morale of your army gets to 0, you lose. Or at the end of the game, when you've run out of cards and everything to play, whoever's morale is highest, they win because it's a war. Morale is everything in war. That and WMDs. Sorry. Now you also get miniatures. Each faction comes with 12 miniatures. Now I'm not going to show you all 12 because I'm already at 7 minutes, and this one's gonna run long. Sorry. I love this so much. Can you tell? Do not put that up there again. Thank you. Now, but I will show you some. Boom. You get miniatures. Look at this Undead Lanceman. They're pre-painted. Pre-painted. Have you ever tried to paint these little bastards? I tried once. Like in frickin' 99. I tried to paint a miniature dragon for a D&D miniatures game that we were playing. I gave up, and I have a half-painted dragon that I never used because he looks silly as hell. I don't have the patience. I'm impatient. But yeah, pre-painted. Pre-painted! And you get to pick, you can have 7 of these in your army if you want. You've got to have 12 guys in your army. If you want to buy all of these, you can have all of these guys. But the only thing is, these cost a little expensive to get out there, and you'll see in the rules. And then, it's just so cool because dragons! Specifically, undead Draco Lich. That's right, this is a Lich. That is a dragon that is undead. I will turn you into a zombie. And yeah, I'm a geek. Y'all already knew that. I'm sorry. But yeah, look, it's a freaking, I know you can't, it's blurry, probably blurry a bit, and I can't get it to focus right, but look at that. And yeah, it's bone colored, it's dead. It's not very colorful, but, I mean, it's just beautiful like that. And look, see, they're pre-painted. I love it. And then you get some little tiles here and there to keep track of things on the board, blah, 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 stuff like that. And then the most important part of this game, which was where the Magic Gathering comes in, other than the picking your creatures and stuff, you get the order and creature cards. Now, each commander has a specific number of creature cards that they can have in their hand at any given time. And you draw up to that at each turn. And then you have these order cards. These are the orders that you give your creatures. And the cool thing about it is, while you've got the cards out, you can see, like, say, this is a zombie. He's a constitution, he's a humanoid, undead zombie. You have the cards that say, okay, this one takes, you have to be a constitution, this is a level 2, this zombie's a level 1, so he can't cast this level 2. Unless he has other zombies around him helping him. So if you've got 3 zombies at level 1 around there, one of those zombies can cast a level 3 command card. If it does with a constitution, or if it says humanoid, undead. Yeah, okay. It's not as hard as it sounds. I'm making it sound a little bit difficult because I'm not very articulate at the moment. Now, the only nitpicky thing I've got about this is that it does away with the dice. And I really like the dice. I like the dice rolling of D&D, but again, that's my nitpicky thing. The card-based mechanics of this game work well with it. They really do. Sometimes I wish there was a little bit more dice rolling, just because it is D&D, and I'm used to rolling dice to see if you hit and then rolling for damage. But this one, you play the card, you do the damage, you play another card to not, to take away that damage, that stuff, which, okay, I get it. But it works. It works, and it's pretty fun. It really is. Now, another little nitpicky thing, but it's not really nitpicky once you think about it. These faction packs, which there are 5 out at the current, and each 5 has a specific theme, I believe I mentioned earlier. Orcs, goblins, heroes, undead, and drow, or the Underdark. And it's specifically for that. Now, they're about a little over $20 each. And I know you're going to be like, oh my god, $20 each. That's going to be $500 if I have to get all 5. I'm not good at math. I'm not good math. I don't have, but anyway. But it's not. How many of you play Magic the Gathering? How much did you spend on booster packs and upgrades and oh, the new edition came out? Yeah, I can personally attest, when I was really heavily into Magic in the early 2000s, I probably spent about $700 on Magic the Gathering cards. That's with booster packs, different upgrades, fat packs, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. So it's not really that bad. And the cool thing about this, you can mix and match factions. If you want to have the freaking awesome undead lich here, you can. If you've got 3 of these bastards, you can put 3 of them in your army. The thing is, they're kind of expensive, and the rules kind of explain that a little bit. Once you got an expensive bastard out there again, if all you've got is expensive bastards, that's probably the only guy you're going to have for a while. And these guys can be easily overwhelmed by a bunch of small guys. So it's a lot of strategy going into it. Also, if you're into the D&D adventure games, Wrath for Chardalon, Castle Ravenloft, Legend of Drizzt, which are some of my personal favorite D&D adventure games, these monsters have picked up their own cards, have cards that let them be compatible with those games. That's infinite replayability again for an already awesome system. So you can build these up. You got to have at least 12 creatures in your army, 30 cards in your order deck and such. You can build this up, and it's just the strategy is... okay, it's not super deep, like, say, some of the other strategy games that, you Warhammer 40K and stuff like that. It's not that deep, but it is a very fun, very entertaining half-hour game. So you can draw them out a little bit longer if you want. The game that I played the other night, me and a friend of mine got together just to test it out, and she took half the cards, I took the other half, and we played the little thing. It lasted about 45 minutes because we were learning. But once you get this thing down, if you do it right, boom, 20 minutes, you can have the person dead and be gloating over them. Be like, yeah, how you like dead, boy? Yeah. It doesn't work with that hat. Sorry, again. But anyway, yes, that's about it. I'm gushing enough and had my little nerdgasm about that. But yeah, Dustin recommends Dungeon Command. Go pick up this game. Come over and play it. I'll buy a plane ticket. Come play the games with me. Please. Yeah, Dustin recommends Dungeon Command, and do not put that up there again. Really? Oh. Alright, guys. Cats and kittens, I will see you guys later. And remember, catchphrase.